So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Camay Curry. I'm a realtor in the Treasure Coast area, primarily servicing Port St. Lucie, Stewart, Martin County, Fort Pierce, that area, but also the South Florida area as well. I've been in the industry for over 15 years now from a variety of capacities, from landlord to a multi-owner and now realtor. So I have a couple different facets within the industry. And before all of that, I was 17 years old, 99 pounds, just graduated high school, going to basic training. So that's why we're here right now, because my passion within the real estate industry is really about our military population, making sure that our vets know exactly what benefits are available to them. Not just within real estate, there's a lot of other resources available to our veteran population, and nobody knows a vet like a vet. So nobody knows, ETS and having pain every day thereafter from the 10-mile rucksack marches and the running and the drill sergeants and all that we endure within serving our country. So for that, it really is one of my focuses, as well as public service in general, because I do double duty, military and public servant as well. So that area is really, really close to my heart, which is why I thought that it was going to be fitting to do a session on VA loans. And specifically because even within my home purchases, I wasn't fully aware of how I could best use that benefit that I do get from the military. So I don't want anybody else to go into a process and simply not know what to expect. And so that's why we're here today. So we have Chotsani Brown on. I'm going to allow Chotsani to introduce herself.
I am a mortgage broker with Premier Mortgage Consultants. They're based out of Naples. I've been with the company for about 4, going on 5 years now. I have been in the mortgage industry since 2003. So from a processor to an underwriter to now a loan officer, I have seen every facet of the mortgage industry. So a wealth of knowledge.
Okay, absolutely a wealth of knowledge. And like I said before, I have used her thrice, which means she's got to be doing something right, because y'all know I don't play about my money. I don't play about my money at all. I need all of it. I need all the coins and I need all the benefits. Whatever it is that I'm due, I'm gonna need to get every drop of it. So we're here so we can make sure that we teach the vets the same thing. So Shot, what credit score is typically needed for a VA loan? What do you need to qualify?
So believe it or not, the VA actually doesn't have a minimum credit score, but most lenders do require at least a 580 credit score. If you're lower than that, you can be looked at for a manual underwrite. So an underwriter can look at it and, manually underwrite the loan to see if they would approve you for it. So if you have compensating factors, then with a lower credit score, you can still be approved.
Okay, so I heard 580, which I know most people are like, a what? A 580 or what? So again, you all can get finance at lower, what we would consider pretty poor credit scores. However, you just have to remember that the bank is going to make sure that they get theirs one way or another. So you can get finance with a low credit score, but you're probably paying triple double on the back end. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're in your process. But just so those of you who are like, oh, my credit ain't right, it ain't 580. So you just you just might be in there.
I always advise people, yes, you want a higher credit score when you're purchasing, because with a lower credit score, you will have a higher interest rate, but it is still possible to do it.
Absolutely. So are there income requirements or debt to income ratio guidelines?
So the one thing that I love about VA is that guidelines say the maximum debt to income ratio is 41%, but I've closed loans with 67% debt to income ratio. So there is no maximum or minimum income, as long as you have a consistent history of working. We can verify 2 years of employment history. You have enough income to cover, and we use your gross, not your net. So your gross, which means before taxes. And yeah, if you have enough money, that's going to cover your mortgage. It's going to cover, what shows on your credit report, your monthly payments. If that's more than 50, 60% of your income, we can still get you approved.
Got it. So there's hope out there. And you all know the added benefit. You know what, Shot, can you just go into what's the point of the VA loan? Why are we even worried about getting a VA loan in the first place?
So a VA loan is a little bit different in the sense that FHA loans, conventional loans, you're required to put a down payment. VA loan, the VA actually guarantees that they will cover your down payment. So you're walking in with 100% financing, nothing out of pocket. And then the other benefit is that there is no mortgage insurance on a VA loan. So if you put less than 20% down payment on any other loan, you're required to have mortgage insurance. VA, you're doing 100% financing and there is no mortgage insurance. So you're looking at, $200, $300 off of your mortgage payment, just, having a VA loan.
Mm-hmm. I've had that benefit firsthand. Okay, I'm looking down, y'all, because I'm trying to log into my VA account so we can show you all a couple things real time. So, Shot, my next question is, what documents are required to apply for a VA loan?
So a VA loan, the process looks the same as it would with any other loan. So of course we need 2 pay stubs, or we need 1 month worth of pay stubs. So if you're paid every 2 weeks, that's 2. If you're paid weekly, that's 4 pay stubs. We will need the last 2 years W-2s. If you're self-employed, then the last 2 years tax returns. But the only difference with VA is that we will need a certificate of eligibility. And you can log into the VA portal and pull your own certificate of eligibility. If you don't have it and you don't know, then as a lender, I have access to pull that as well.
Which is awesome. I didn't realize that the lenders had that ability until you actually told me that you all have the ability to do that, which is great, especially if you have somebody who is technically challenged. And just so y'all know, it's only a couple things that I can't do, but I can go online, I can go to a website, like give me some credit. But if I wasn't on a Zoom right now, everything would be working properly. So what we're gonna do real quick is I'm gonna share my screen just so everyone can see, because you may want to just go on and look at your certificate of eligibility, just to see what it looks like, what the process would be to actually do it on your own. So let's see here. You all should be able to see my screen right now.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So when you log in, and of course I'm already logged in because y'all don't need to see my business. You want to make sure if it doesn't automatically come to this main page, you want to just hit up here, just to get you to this main page. And this is probably one of the easiest ways I can explain just getting to your certificate of eligibility. And so you want to go here to the VA benefits and healthcare, hit that drop down. So when you have time, if you're a vet and you haven't really looked on the va.gov site, make sure you go in there, because this is where all your benefits and resources are, to a number of different areas, be it healthcare, your disability ratings, All of that stuff is here, to include going down to service member benefits. From service member benefits, you're gonna go down, and all of this is good information right here. Y'all know I'm big on mental health. GI Bill and other education. Here in purple, certificate of eligibility for a VA-backed home loan. So you want to go here. And this is where you see your eligibility for VA programs. And there's all this information for veterans in reference to it. But you want to pay special interest to how to request a certificate of eligibility, as well as just requesting one online right here. So you all can see request a VA home loan certificate of eligibility. Congratulations, your girl already got hers. So I'm good to go. And then just so you all can see what it looks like, this is kind of a snapshot of my certificate of eligibility. So of course, I enlarged this so y'all can't see all my business, but this is what my certificate of eligibility looks like. So entitlement code 5, don't know what that means. Branch of service, I was in the Army, and funding fee is I'm exempt, and I believe I'm exempt because I'm a disabled veteran.
Yes.
So if you are, I don't know if you have to be 100% disabled, but you do, no, you don't have to be 100% disabled. You are exempt from the VA funding fee. So that's an extra benefit that you get, of course, unfortunately, because you are getting VA disability. So Shot, could you just briefly, because we don't want to overwhelm anybody, explain what the certificate of eligibility is about, what it's for?
I think I'm muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh no, you go ahead and stay. I got you.
Oh, okay.
That's why y'all couldn't hear her, because she was muted.
I was muted. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and I couldn't hear you at all either. So the certificate of eligibility basically gives the lender an idea of what the VA will guarantee you for. So there's a formula in calculating it, and every veteran has a basic eligibility of $36,000, but it's not, it goes beyond that basic amount. It's based on the amount of loan that you're buying. So there is no maximum loan amount with VA. So you can purchase $1 million home, but there's a calculation to determine whether or not the VA will, or the amount that the VA will guarantee. And that's how you get, the down payment. You're not required to make the down payment because they're guaranteeing those funds. So what you would do is let's say you're purchasing a house for $200,000 or $250,000. You would take that $250,000 and multiply it by 25%, and that gives you what the amount that VA will guarantee for that purchase. So on a $250,000 loan, which we know, there's nowhere around here where you're going to purchase a house for $250,000, but just for the example, on $250,000, multiply it by 25%. Let me just do the math. My calculator.
She doing math. You about to give me a headache.
You already know.
So did everybody who needs to see how to get to their COE while she's calculating? If y'all have any questions on that, just put in the chat. Okay, go ahead, Shot.
Okay, so $250,000 times 25%, we're talking $62,500. That's the amount that the VA will guarantee you. All right, does that make sense to everybody?
Okay, and so basically that's saying that's telling the lender that, hey, you're loaning this 200 or something, and we will, if this person defaults,
Correct.
we'll pay.
We'll guarantee. Yeah, up to
Okay.
$62,000.
Okay, which is when I first got it, I saw that 154,000. I'm like, oh shucks. I'm thinking, you know
Not
that.
that whole amount. So, I mean, looking at yours, you take 154 times the 25%. It should be 38,500. Did you put money down? You didn't?
If I actually remembered anything from 2020, it would be a surprise.
Okay.
But I'm thinking not, because I've used it twice. So I used it and paid it off and then used it again. So, but I want to say no for both times.
Okay.
So that's showing you all just how to get to your certificate of eligibility. And then just a brief overview of what those numbers on the certificate actually mean. But don't wreck your brain about it. That's what we have Chotsani for.
And the thing about it is none of us do this manually. You know, as a lender, we put the numbers into the system and the system calculates all of this for us. So, you know, don't rack your brain. There's also a calculator on the VA website that will, you know, calculate your eligibility and what amount the VA will guarantee for you. So,
okay, so are there limits on how much you can borrow?
There is a limit. So it goes by your the maximum conforming loan limit for the county that you live in. Most counties are 766,250. And multiply that by 25%, that's your maximum amount.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I think that might be why one of the reasons why I didn't use it last go around.
Yeah.
I was doing too much. Okay, so we talked about how the certificate of eligibility works, how the rate is basically calculated based on that. And obviously there is a limit to how much you can borrow, but boy, as soon as they say it ain't, I'm going to upgrade. Okay.
You can, there is no limit. There,
Are you unmuted?
Not sure how that happened, but there's no maximum loan amount, but you know, there is a maximum amount that they will guarantee. So if you want to put the extra money down, you can.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay, so I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Can I use the VA loan more than once? And are there any restrictions? And I haven't.
Yes. Okay, I promise I'm not touching it, but yes, you can use a VA loan multiple times. So, you know, you can use it. Let's say you sell the house, you know, that same eligibility becomes available again. But let's say you bought a house, because we know in when you're in the military, you know, if you're active duty, you move around a lot. So let's say you buy a house in one area and you get, you know, assigned to a different area. You've already used up part of your eligibility or part of your guarantee. So, but you want to buy another house in a different area. So the way that we would find out what you qualify for is we take that maximum amount again, which is the 766,250 or whatever your, you know, maximum loan limit for your county that you're moving to. We'll take that amount, multiply it by 25%. That's your maximum amount. Then we have to find out what the guarantee what amount you used on the first loan, and subtract that from the maximum. So whatever that remaining amount is what you can use toward the second purchase, if that makes sense.
Right. So like, let's say mine was 150,000. I used 50,000 entitlement, but I'm active duty. So I'm staying here and I'm staying there. So I still have $100,000 worth of
That you can play
entitlement
with.
left.
Correct.
Got it. Which I don't think is widely known, that if you qualify, that you can use that VA certificate on multiple properties at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think most people are aware of that, but yeah, you absolutely can.
And shot, as soon as they start letting us use it on rental properties, please let me know.
Well, here's the funny thing about that, and I think most people don't realize that there are ways around, right? The rental using a VA to buy a rental property. So no, you can't use it to just buy one single family house that you plan on renting out. But let's say you want to buy a multifamily. As long as you're living in one unit as your primary residence, you can still use the VA loan to purchase.
Right. That part. And had I known that, or, well, I can't say, because I would have needed to know that and also have the mindset. So knowing 20 years ago wouldn't have done me no good, because your girl mind was not in the right place, not business minded. But here now, really realizing that I really could have purchased a multifamily unit, stayed in one as my primary residence, and allowed it to make money for me and start my real estate journey even further along.
So imagine going into a property, you're not paying a down payment at all. You don't have mortgage insurance, which means that your monthly payment is going to be lower. And most times with the VA loan, your interest rate is going to be a little bit lower. So you have multiple units. You're basically living rent-free. You're living mortgage-free.
You're living mortgage-free. And so here, can you use it? So like with the same scenario, I'm deploying, so I'm here and I'm there. Can I buy a multi-family unit here and a multi-family unit there?
Well, technically, you have to occupy one. You have to occupy one of the units for it to be considered, owner occupied or your primary residence.
But I'm leaving the husband in one.
But you're leaving.
And I'm getting deployed and I'm staying in the other one. Y'all know I will come up with something.
Listen, technically, at the time that you purchased the multi-unit, you were living there. So that was your primary residence. You get deployed somewhere else, you still have eligibility or guarantee out there that you can use. Technically, you can still use that to purchase. Yeah.
If only. So if there's anybody active duty out there, and you, especially if you're getting deployed anywhere around like a college town or a high touristy area, listen, if you all know anybody, any veterans who maybe are not aware, make sure y'all share this information, because you can start creating generational wealth just like that and don't even realize. And again, we're talking about multi-family, but look, that's a whole nother one. Because I can talk about that all day long. All day long. Okay, so what are the benefits of a VA loan compared to conventional or FHA? So is there a time where VA may not be what's in your best interest?
If I had the ability to use a VA loan, always I would. Because like I said, and we touched on it before, with the VA loan, you're not paying mortgage insurance. You're not coming out of pocket for anything. And let's say, you want to refinance and you're deciding, should I refinance as a VA or should I refinance as a, FHA or, conventional loan? VA has what's called a VA IRRRL. Say you want to just refinance to lower your interest rate. There are so many benefits to using the VA that I can't think of one reason why you would
Oh,
switch
hold
to.
on 1 second, Shot. Junior, why can I hear you while I'm on my live? Close the door, please, sir. I do apologize. That's why I didn't yell at him as loud as I really wanted to. But okay, go ahead, Shot.
So, like I was saying, just the benefits of having a VA loan, you're not having to pay out-of-pocket costs on a purchase for your for your down payment, and you won't have mortgage insurance. Hopefully, it's going to be a lower rate. Those are the benefits on the purchase side. There's no prepayment penalty. That's on the purchase side. But on a refinance, we have, what's called a VA EARL, or I say EARL, but it's an interest rate reduction refinance. And it is a really, really quick process, very little fees. You don't require an appraisal. It's a really quick process, and no other well, I guess you can compare it to like an FHA streamline, but it again is a quick process, and you do not have the fees that you would normally have on a regular refinance.
Right. So do you have to already be in a VA loan in order to get EARL?
Yeah. Yes, Earl needs to be already in a VA.
Already in a VA. Listen, well, thanks to you, I looked out and got me a nice and low interest rate before the market boomed. But
yes,
I sure would have been trying to get me a EARL if I could.
Correct.
Okay, so we talked about the multi-unit properties, y'all. I ain't gonna hop on that no more. What are the steps from pre-approval to closing a VA loan? And you know what, even before we go there, you mentioned appraisals, because I have heard some VA loan appraisal kind of horror stories. Can you go into the VA loan appraisal process?
So the appraisal process, the only thing that's different with the appraisal process is on a regular FHA loan, conventional loan, we order it through the lender's appraisal management company. But all VA loans appraisals are ordered through the VA. So there are VA specific appraisers that will appraise the property on a VA loan. Those fees are not paid typically on a regular, purchase. You pay for your appraisal up front. VA does not require that. So it's paid at closing. The process itself kind of looks the same. I have heard that people tend to think that VA appraisals are strict. But of course they have their own guidelines. Let's say the value is coming in low. The good thing about a VA appraisal is that the appraiser will contact the lender and say, hey, I don't think we're going to meet the value. So you have that communication with the appraiser that you typically don't have on a different loan.
Okay, gotcha. Because I have heard some stories. And I know it can be a concern. Really appraisal, you can have appraisal concerns, VA loan or no VA loan.
That's
You
exactly
can have
what I was
appraisal
going to
issues.
say. I think people, people consider FHA or VA because they're government loans. People consider them more strict, but I think you can have issues either way on an appraisal. But I haven't had anything that we were not able to overcome, on a VA or an FHA appraisal.
Got it. Okay, so back to what are the steps involved from pre-approval to closing on the VA loan?
So, like I said, it's still the same process. We're going to get the same documents, with the exception, the certificate of eligibility is one of the things that we'll get that we don't normally get on other loans. The process is the same. We, tend to look at the income the same. One thing that we look at that other loans don't require is your residual income on a VA loan. And that's all calculated by the underwriter, nothing that you have to do. But, it's submitted to the underwriter. You get, disclosures the same way that you would do on any other loan. So the process looks the same. Maybe the documents, there are additional documents that we get, but the process itself looks the same.
And the time frame runs about the same?
Yeah, it's about the same.
So once you have completed closing, are there any additional obligations when you have a VA loan versus having a different type of loan?
No other obligations, nothing that you have to do differently after, closing on a VA loan.
And what about home improvement? So like, you know how some people will purchase a house and it needs some upgrades or something like that before you even can move in good. Does the VA account for that type of purchase?
So it's funny, and I don't think a lot of people are familiar with this, but the VA does offer a renovation loan. So let's say now, if it's something structural, something where walls have to be knocked down, or something has to be rebuilt, they won't cover that. But if it's some cosmetic issues, let's say you want to replace appliances, or you want to fix the pool. You want to fix the pool or something like that, you can absolutely do a renovation loan for the VA.
So when you say renovation, because listen,
so let's say you're buying a house and it needs let's say you're buying a house for about $200,000, right? We're just throwing low numbers out here. And let's say some things need to be done cosmetic. Let's say you need to fix the sidewalk, or you need to, do something to the driveway or something like that. They will cover up to $50,000. So if you're buying a house, let's say it's $200,000, and your repairs can cost up to $50,000. So your total loan amount is going to be $250,000.
Okay, got it. And then, so are they coming to check to see that you use the 50,000? I didn't ask that.
Yes.
I didn't.
So it's the VA. So what happens is, and they're going to check everything, right? You have to use a VA certified, inspector, a VA certified, whoever repairs it, they have to be VA certified. So they're going to check those numbers. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's say theoretically, I find me a nice little slider house, a fix and flip.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get my additional 50,000. I get into this home. It is my primary residence. However, I don't intend on it being my primary residence forever. What does that look like? So let's say I want to buy something else, and so that's no longer my primary.
So here's the thing. There's nothing in writing that says that you have to stay in that house for a certain period of time. So, if you buy a VA home, it's your primary resident. You decide, hey, I ran into a deal that I cannot give up. I'm going to buy this other house. You can absolutely buy the other house. There isn't anything in writing.
I'm just asking questions for a friend.
Yeah. I can only answer what guidelines say, right? So there's nothing in writing that says you cannot, move on and purchase another house.
And mind you, I'm so far past, the VA be looking at me crazy, like, man, we know. But for anybody
And I'm
else,
sure people do it.
right. So
Yeah.
just anybody out there who, you know, maybe is a vet or maybe thinking about, maybe I don't want to settle down in a house, so to speak, because I do, you know, get deployed a lot, but you have an opportunity to find a nice investment property that can serve as your primary residence and be multifunctional in the long game of things. Because maybe you don't want to take root anywhere, but that doesn't mean that you can't start a financial foundation. So it wouldn't be me if I didn't ask the questions and get the clarification, and it's all done. She said it's according to the guidelines. Like, that's all, that's it. You're not committing no law violations, you're not going to prison. Long, because I'm not going to.
Yeah, there isn't anything that says you have to live in this house for a lifetime. You know, you're not obligated to that.
So that's just good to know for anybody out there who may be thinking that maybe I do want to purchase something, but I don't think I'll be in it long term, but you might be able to see an additional value. So what does happen, Sha, if I purchase something, it's my primary residence, and so now I want to rent it out, but it's on my VA loan, and technically it won't be my primary residence anymore. So do they have to refinance that loan out from the VA?
You can refinance it out of the VA, and let's say your value has increased, right? And you refinance into a regular conventional loan. If you have more than 20% value at this point, you're not going to have mortgage insurance on that conventional loan, and you're refinancing, so there should be nothing out of pocket. And if you can get a lower or comparable interest rate, you know, you can refinance and switch that over if you're concerned about the VA, you know, checking up on you. Yeah.
They better check me. Chotsani, Kaya is in the chat, and she says that Chotsani mash, and I never say the mash burn brown because it's too hard for me to say. It's the tongue twister.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay.
She says she knows her stuff. Can you be my coach mentor? So, and for those of you who don't know, Kaya is my mentor. We are with the relational group, so outstanding group of realtors, Black females,
Absolutely.
doing it up and doing it collectively, collaboratively, without
Yes.
the competition. So love all of my relational group.
Yes.
And, you know, for Kaya to say that, hey, you know what, can you groom me? It means that you actually know what you're talking about.
So let me say this, Kaya is everybody's mentor, okay? Because what she knows, she shares with everybody else. And I don't care who you are, but she is that way. So.
She say, love you, friend.
I
can't say it in her voice, but you know exactly what it sounds like.
I know.
Listen, so that was actually I added some stuff obviously to the agenda. We started off rough, but we got through it because we're gonna make it work regardless. And I'm gonna try no gatekeeping. Kaya said no gatekeeping.
No gatekeeping.
So you know, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of the knowledge that you have. Could you leave us with your contact information for anyone who is interested in procuring your services, ma'am?
Yes, and I can add it to the chat. Should I add it to the chat?
Yes.
Or can they see it? Okay. All right. So
I don't know
my
if they
phone
can see
number.
I'll put it here because I have no idea if they can see our Zoom chat. So put it there just so we can test it, but I'll put it here as well.
All right. So anyway, my phone number, if you just want to, you know, chat and talk and run scenarios, I am always here to help with that. My phone number is 561-377-8818. You can text or call that number. And my email address is my name, CHOT as in Tom, S as in Sam, ANI, the letter B at pmcnow.com. So P is in Premier, M is in Mortgage, C is in Consultants, NOW.com.
Okay. Got it. So the information is in the Zoom chat, if any of you can see it. It's in the Facebook Live chat as well. And for those of you, if you might be thinking about purchasing a home, my contact information is going to be 561-827-1245. Fellas, I don't typically open up my DMs. Business only. Business only. So you can also message me on Facebook, on Instagram, because I do believe this is going to go to Instagram as well. Typically, those are going to be the best ways to contact me. And then, of course, my email address is going to be Camay Curry. That's CAMAYCURRY at risingwatersmngt.com. So your girl has a LLC. So Camay Curry at risingwatersmanagement.com. If you didn't know, now you know.